My sister, Lynn, dreamed of becoming such a huge star that she couldn't stop thinking about it even in her sleep. During the summer break, after meeting a so-called Star Scout online, she told me she wanted to go to Northern Myanmar with him to film a short movie. I felt Northern Myanmar wasn't safe, so I advised her to think carefully. In the end, she dropped the idea. However, when the summer break ended, one of her pretty classmates shot to fame after filming a short movie, becoming an overnight internet sensation. Lynn went mad, yelling that if it hadn't been for my intervention, she would be the famous one now. After that, she and my stepmother tricked me into returning to our hometown. They married me off to an abusive old bachelor. I was tortured to death, while Lynn used the bride price from my death to enroll in an acting class, continuing to pursue her dream of stardom. When I opened my eyes, I was back at the beginning of that summer break, on the very day she said she was going to Northern Myanmar to film a short movie. This time, I smiled and said, "When you become a big star, don't forget your big sister." "Mom, my boyfriend says he's taking me to Northern Myanmar to film a short movie. I'm going to be a huge star. Everyone just wait to enjoy the blessings I'll bring. You're not like some people who just bury their heads in books, and even after graduating, just end up working for capitalists, like oxen or horses their whole lives, never amounting to anything." As Lynn's voice rang in my ears, my whole body trembled uncontrollably. Images from my past life, of being locked in a dark, lightless basement by that old bachelor, beaten day and night, and finally dying in despair, flashed before my eyes one after another. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw my sister, surrounded by my father and stepmother in the living room, chatting happily. In a daze, I realized I had been reborn. Reborn on the exact day she announced she was going to Northern Myanmar to film a short movie. Hearing that, my stepmother clapped her hands gleefully. "Truly my daughter, so much potential. My darling girl can even go abroad to film now. Won't she be a big star later? The villagers will be so jealous." My father, meanwhile, affectionately placed a bucket of KFC, a meal I had never been allowed to eat, in front of Lynn. "Daddy's little darling is so clever. I knew you had more ambition than your sister. It was right not to give your sister tuition money and make her work part-time to pay for that useless 985 university. And it was even more right to invest so much in your college education. If we want to bring honor to our family, we have to rely on you. But why do you have to go all the way to Northern Myanmar to film a short movie? What if something happens?" My father then turned to me. "Anne, you're a university student too. Do you think going abroad to film a short movie like this is trustworthy?" He had asked me the same question in my past life. At school, I often heard teachers talk about fraud prevention, so, with good intentions, I said, "Northern Myanmar is not a good place. It's a paradise for scammers. Many people get tricked into going there and never return. Lynn, it's best to think carefully." My stepmother, hearing this, slapped me angrily. "Who says Northern Myanmar isn't good? I think you bitch, just don't want your sister to succeed. Your heart is evil, your guts and everything inside you are rotten, just like your dead mother." I clutched my face, tears welling up. Despite the injustice, I still thought, Lynn is my family after all. I held back my tears and patiently explained the dangers of Northern Myanmar to them, even finding many cases online of people being scammed there. Eventually, my father listened to my words and also felt Northern Myanmar wasn't safe. He locked Lynn in the house, forbidding her from going. But as soon as the summer break ended, Lynn discovered her beautiful classmate had filmed a short movie that went viral, becoming a famous internet hot girl overnight. Lynn went mad, screaming that I had blocked her path to stardom. She and my stepmother beat me almost to death, but even that wasn't enough to satisfy their anger. They tricked me into going back to our hometown and married me off to a notoriously violent bachelor in the next village in exchange for a 200,000 yuan bride price. Under my stepmother's arrangement, my father withdrew me from school. Lynn used my bride price to enroll in an expensive acting class, continuing to pursue her dream of being a star. I, on the other hand, was locked in the old bachelor's basement, tortured and beaten day and night, living a life worse than death. Finally, unable to endure the torment, I died in despair. Lynn, meanwhile, began to profit from being a freelance media personality, truly becoming a small internet celebrity, living a life of ease as if spring winds blew through her days. Your father is asking you, Anne, is this short film project in Northern Myanmar trustworthy? Seeing that I hadn't answered for a long time, my father couldn't help but speak up again. I jolted awake, but my skin still felt cold. I unconsciously rubbed my hands and said, "It's good. Not everyone gets the chance to go abroad to film a short movie. It's also thanks to Lynn being beautiful since she was little that she met a boyfriend who's a Star Scout." My stepmother heard this and laughed, her face full of wrinkles. "That's right, my daughter is beautiful just like me. She's been a doll since she was small. Not like you, sickly, pale, and skinny. One look and you know you have no good fortune." Right, I, who worked tirelessly day and night to earn tuition, was skinny and pale. How could I compare to her biological daughter, 1.58 meters tall and weighing 60 kilograms, full of good fortune? But she didn't stop to think, with a physique like a pig, what serious company would invite her to play a female lead in a short film. If they were determined to rush headlong into their doom, I would help them. "Yes, my sister is plump and pretty. You can tell she's blessed. I hope that when you become a big star, you won't forget your big sister," I said, smiling at her. Lynn's face lit up at the praise, but then, as if remembering something, she looked at me as if I were her enemy. "Anne, don't think everything has something to do with me. I'm warning you, when I become famous, don't claim to be my sister, and don't expect to ride on my coattails. I don't want anyone to know I have such a shameful sister like you. It's mortifying." "Mortifying, am I? Oh, wait until you actually get famous, then we'll talk." I smirked inwardly, while outwardly feigning sadness, which satisfied Lynn's ego immensely. "I know, Lynn, I won't embarrass you. When you become a big star, a few signed photos will be enough for me. I wouldn't dare dream of anything else." Lynn was extremely pleased. "Then that's fine." Hearing that, I suppressed the hatred in my heart. This time, I wouldn't say another word to advise her. I wanted her to pay the price for her dirty heart herself. With no one to stand in her way, Lynn began preparing to go abroad, getting a passport, shopping for clothes. Every day, she and my stepmother were as busy as if it were New Year's. I wasn't idle either. On the second day after my rebirth, I used the excuse of working part-time to earn tuition and return to school, escaping that suffocating house. The first thing I did at school was to find my classmate, Kyle, and express my desire to join his startup project. In my previous life, this project had been extremely successful. At that time, he had invited me to co-develop a low-cost travel app for students. I had agreed, but because of my sister, I missed the opportunity. This time, I absolutely would not miss it again. Kyle was delighted to see me. "Anne, your programming skills are the best in our class. With you on board, I'm completely at ease." I suppressed my emotions and told him, "Thank you for your trust, class monitor. I definitely won't let you down." To launch the app early, Kyle and I began a life of relentless overtime. Meanwhile, Lynn's passport was also ready. She thought she was about to become famous and couldn't wait to post 100 updates. Going abroad to join a film crew? So excited. First time acting in a short movie, don't know what to prepare. Luckily, my Harry is so caring and takes care of everything. All I need to do is be pretty. He'll handle the rest. Lynn and I had quite a few mutual friends. Seeing her posts, many left comments. "Wow, Lynn is amazing, going abroad to film." "It's all thanks to my great boyfriend. He's a big director, and he has such a good attitude." Another person immediately flattered her. "It has to be you, Lynn. It seems we were right all along. Studying hard basically has no future. Look at your sister. What good is it to study hard and get into that rundown 985 university? It's nothing compared to you, who can earn a ton of money just by starring in a single short film." Lynn just sent a smirking emoji. "That's true. People like her only deserve to be oxen and horses for us." I rolled my eyes and threw my phone aside. Go ahead and gloat. In a few days, when you actually get to Northern Myanmar, let's see if you can still gloat. Amidst the shower of likes and comments on Lynn's posts, her boyfriend finally booked her plane ticket. Just when I thought I was about to completely escape Lynn, she suddenly called me. As soon as I answered, her arrogant tone rang out. "Anne, I'm flying to Northern Myanmar this afternoon to film a short movie. When I come back, I'm definitely going to be a star. But I don't even have a decent branded bag to meet my boyfriend with. It's so demeaning. I order you to immediately transfer 8,000 yuan so I can buy a bag. Otherwise, Don't dream of getting any light from me when I become famous." I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh inwardly. Dream on, really? I actually did have 8,000 yuan, but that was the money I had earned working part-time for half a year, saved for next semester's tuition. How could I give it to her? I pretended to be distressed and said, "Whether I have money or not, don't you know perfectly well? Since graduating high school, my parents haven't given me a single penny. Where would I get 8,000 yuan? If you really need a handbag, I still have that LV bag I bought at the night market last semester. I'll give it to you. I guarantee it won't be too embarrassing." The other end of the line immediately shrieked, "LV from the night market? Anne, you're truly poor and pathetic. You don't even have 8,000 yuan, you stingy miser. Don't even think about claiming to be my sister. When I become a star, don't even think about using my name." I tried to suppress my laughter. "Don't be like that, Lynn. If you don't like my LV, I can borrow my roommate's Hermes from the night market for you, okay? Don't hang up." I looked at the disconnected call with a funny expression, then returned to my desk and continued coding as if nothing had happened. By 2:00 p.m., Lynn posted a photo on social media of herself carrying an LV bag and flying off. I didn't know who she finally borrowed money from to buy the bag, but I figured whoever lent it to her would definitely never see it again, because she would never pay it back. Thanks to my memories from my past life, I understood the model and features of Kyle's app, so I quickly built its core, making it almost ready for launch. I became even busier, but no matter how busy I was, I never forgot to take time to check Lynn's social media status. Finally in Northern Myanmar, about to meet the love of my life, so excited. My boyfriend is definitely the most handsome. Girls, I'm head over heels. Filming is about to start. Harry says filming is tough, so he's treating me to lobster. This was accompanied by 9 lavish seafood banquet photos, attracting countless likes and compliments. But looking closely, those photos somehow looked like stock photos. Anyway, it was enough to deceive the vast majority of people who didn't know the truth, such as my father and stepmother. They had lived at the bottom of society, despised their whole lives, and now seeing Lynn like this, it was as if they could finally hold their heads high. They immediately shared her status, wishing they could scream to the whole world that their daughter had potential. Such actions led to endless admiration from neighbors and relatives. I just watched in silence, waiting for their glamorous dream to shatter. Lynn's personal page was updated multiple times a day, always about good food and parties. Someone curiously asked, "Show us the film crew, we've never seen filming before." "Yeah, why have you been there for days and haven't filmed anything yet? Your film crew is pretty chill, huh?" Lynn replied, "Of course not. It's just that I'm asterisk chill because my Harry dotes on me and doesn't let me work too much. I only film 2 hours a day." This statement, once posted, again attracted a slew of admiring comments. I just shook my head. She's playing the female lead, and the competition for short films is fierce these days. What female lead only films 2 hours a day? I guessed Lynn was already caught in their trap, but all of this was no longer my concern. If she was determined to rush headlong into her doom, I could only respect and wish her well. Kyle's and my app was finally launched. We both became even busier promoting it. When I had a bit of free time to scroll through social media, I found that Lynn hadn't posted anything for 3 days. My father called, worried. "Have you heard from Lynn? We haven't been able to reach her for days, and she hasn't posted anything online. What should we do now?" I replied indifferently, "She hasn't contacted me at all. She's been missing for several days. Should we report it to the police?" My stepmother's furious shriek immediately came from the other end of the line. "Report to the police what? Anne, you don't want our Lynn to live peacefully, do you? I warn you, don't stick your nose into other people's business. Lynn is definitely busy filming. That's why she doesn't have time to call us. If reporting to the police upsets her boyfriend and stops her from becoming a star, I'll make you suffer the consequences." Her vicious voice, identical to the one in my past life that had locked me in hell, made my whole body shiver. I had to take several deep breaths to regain my composure. "Mom, how could I harm Lynn? I absolutely won't report it to the police. You said Lynn is fine, so she must be fine. After all, you two have a psychic connection. Who has better intuition than you, Mom?" Only then did my stepmother calm down. "Of course. Last night, I even dreamed Lynn turned into a golden phoenix and flew home. She has such good fortune. How could anything happen to her? After hanging up, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. Anyway, I've already advised reporting it to the police. If you didn't listen, then don't blame me in this life. I no longer cared about Lynn's affairs, throwing myself wholeheartedly into my work. Next semester was my final year of university. If this project succeeded, I would have valuable startup experience and wouldn't have to worry about finding a job after graduation. My past life taught me that parents are unreliable and siblings can be a pitfall. Only I myself am my sole support. Our app was initially promoted very well. As soon as it launched, it attracted many users. We quickly had the revolving capital to deploy the second phase of promotion. Just when I thought the next news about Lynn would come from the police, I suddenly received a call from her. Seeing her name flashing on my phone screen, I curiously pressed the answer button. As soon as it connected, Lynn's sharp voice rang out, "Anne, you're in luck. My boyfriend's film crew needs a somewhat ordinary supporting actress. I've already recommended you to them. Hurry up and get a passport, then fly over here. I'll take you along to become famous together." Take me to Northern Myanmar. Not satisfied with dying alone, she wants to drag me along to die with her. I looked at the continuously rising number of app downloads and smiled. But I'm very busy these days. School is starting soon, and you know how strict our university is. I wouldn't dare skip classes. Besides, I always get nervous in front of the camera, unlike you who's had the charisma of a star since childhood. Let's just skip the acting part, okay? You find someone else. Hearing my refusal, Lynn immediately shrieked. "Great, Anne, you have the nerve to refuse me. Do you believe I'll come back to the country and kill you?" I didn't want her to pollute my ears further, so I resolutely hung up. She wants me to be a sacrifice in her place? Dream on, but Lynn clearly didn't want to let me go. She kept sending threatening messages, but I ignored them, not bothering to reply. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, 3 days later, she stopped harassing me. But on the second day after school started, my stepmother unexpectedly appeared at the school gate. As soon as I walked out, she blocked me, tears and snot streaming down her face. "Why didn't you answer your phone? Your father was in a car accident and is in the hospital. Didn't you know? Hurry, come with me to visit him." I froze. For the past few days, to avoid them trying to persuade me on Lynn's behalf, I had blocked all communication with them. But why such a coincidence? Right at this moment, my father had an accident. Seeing my lack of reaction, my stepmother tightly gripped my hand and pulled me towards a nearby van. I quickly struggled. "Mom, don't rush. I'll go with you, but let me call my friend first." My stepmother clutched my hand like iron tongs. Her hands, used to farm work, were now a lurking trap. I couldn't break free, so I had to give in and plead, but she was completely unmoved. "Your father is about to die and you still have the heart to call someone else? What kind of daughter are you? How can you be so vicious? After going to university, you start looking down on your farmer parents, don't you? I raised you and you turn out to be so ungrateful. I'll beat you to death." As she spoke, my stepmother grabbed my hair and slapped me hard. Then she leaned close to my ear and whispered, just for me to hear, "Get in the car now, or I'll beat you to death. You know I'm not bluffing." Hearing that, my heart clenched. I knew she meant what she said. Once I just talked back to her and she broke 3 of my ribs. At that time, I thought I would really die. So every time she said, "beat you to death," my heart trembled with fear. I looked around but didn't see any familiar friends. If I struggled now, she would definitely strike. Outsiders would only see it as a family matter, and no one would help me. If I got injured, it would be even harder to find an opportunity to escape. I dared not struggle anymore, obediently letting my stepmother push me into the car. The person in the passenger seat was none other than my father, who was supposedly in the hospital due to an accident. Seeing me, he even smiled brightly as if it was a novel situation. "Indeed, a sly one like you needs a bit of trickery to catch." My stepmother pinched my bicep hard and cursed, "You wretched wench. If Lynn hadn't insisted on you coming, I would never let you enjoy the good fortune with Lynn. Every day there's lobster and abalone to eat, and you get to travel everywhere. But you damn brat, even with sweet talk, you wouldn't go. What's so great about studying? After you finish studying, how much will you earn? It's not as good as coming with us to film with Lynn. Luckily, Lynn is rich now and still hasn't forgotten about you. Not only has she reserved the villainous role for you, but she's also given your father and me 2 roles as aristocratic elders. Her boyfriend has a lot of money. Just acting a few scenes over there can earn tens of thousands. You should be grateful to her." I never imagined Lynn could be so malicious. For her own life, not only did she not spare me, but she also dragged my birth parents along. But their rushing to their deaths was their business. I was reborn this time not to be a sacrifice for them. I thought, and finally came up with an idea. Are you taking me to the airport, Mom and Dad? But I haven't gotten a passport yet, so going wouldn't do any good, would it? My stepmother sneered. You think we didn't think of that? We're going to Van Than, not flying directly to Northern Myanmar. Lynn said the film crew is in too much of a hurry this time to get passports, so she told us to go near the Van Than border and find a way to cross over. Her boyfriend is very resourceful. He has all sorts of ways. So they were flying to Van Than. That meant the passport excuse wouldn't work anymore. At the airport, my stepmother and father were still uneasy. One stood on my left, one on my right, sandwiching me tightly. As boarding time approached, I saw an airport security officer walk by and immediately had another idea. I suddenly clutched my stomach and collapsed onto the floor, rolling back and forth. Oh, ow, it hurts so much, my stomach hurts. Mom, Dad, help me. Seeing security approaching, my parents didn't dare do anything and had to take me to the airport medical room. Once in the medical room, I felt relieved. The examination equipment here was incomplete, so I could fake my illness as I pleased. The doctor touched my stomach, and I yelled in pain wherever he pressed. The doctor frowned and said, "It seems serious. Appendicitis can't be ruled out, so it's best to go to a larger hospital for a thorough checkup." My stepmother panicked. We're about to board the plane. How can we have time to go to the hospital? I also seized the opportunity to put my hands together and plead, "Doctor, I'm about to fly to Van Than. Doctor, please give me some painkillers. I really want to go with my parents to find my sister." The doctor firmly refused. For an illness like this, painkillers cannot be given. Masking the symptoms would be very dangerous. Furthermore, airlines do not encourage passengers with health problems to board flights before test results are available. You cannot fly today. Hearing the doctor say that, my stepmother was so angry she almost exploded. Can't fly? What now? The plane tickets cost several hundred yuan. I looked at my stepmother with affectionate eyes and said, "Mom, how about you refund the tickets? We can go together after I recover." My stepmother looked at me with contempt. "Nice try. The refund fee is very high. Buying a ticket for you already cost me so much money. Now you want me to spend more because of a good-for-nothing like you." I clutched my stomach, feigning pain, and pleaded, "But Mom, I really want to go. I want to go film with my sister. Who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and become famous, then we can earn money to support you and Dad." As soon as I finished speaking, my stepmother immediately glared at me angrily. You want to be a star like my Lynn? Look at you, as ugly as your dead mother, still dreaming such impossible dreams. You really are ill-fated. You made it to the airport but can't even get on the plane. Fine, you stay here. Your father and I will go alone." My father hesitated a little. Are we really not taking Anne? What if Lynn blames us? My stepmother glared at him. I'm her mother. Would I harm her? This little girl dreams too much. Let her stay here and keep dreaming. With that, she cast a contemptuous glance at me and quickly pulled my father away, fearing I would cling to them. I watched their retreating backs, feeling an inexpressible sense of exhilaration. I knew that if I had stubbornly refused to go, my stepmother would have tried every possible way to drag me along. But if I showed enthusiasm, even dreaming of becoming famous like her daughter, she would definitely not let me come along, because she would absolutely not allow me, her stepdaughter, to surpass her beloved biological daughter, not even by a sliver of hope. Goodbye, my dear parents. I didn't let the doctor give me any medicine, just lay in the medical room for a while, then left on my own. To make it seem real, I even stopped by a hospital. When I returned to school, I saw that my father's and stepmother's Facebook accounts had been updated. About to meet our daughter and son-in-law. So excited. First time filming, don't know what to pay attention to. As rich old aristocrats, I wonder if anyone will kneel before us. Just thinking about it is exciting. I burst out laughing. Dream on, really, demanding others to kneel. I'm afraid by then, you'll be the ones kneeling until your knees are raw for them. In the family group chat, my aunt and uncle competed to lavish praise and express admiration, cautioning them not to forget their relatives when they struck it rich. My parents responded with a few perfunctory words, then went silent. Not long after, I received a private message from my stepmother. Remember to feed the chickens and ducks this weekend. If they get hungry and skinny, I'll beat you to death when I get back. I didn't reply to her subsequent messages, nor did I bother to read them, because I knew she would never come back. One day later, my parents' Facebook accounts were updated again. They had met their daughter and were treated to high-end seafood by their beloved daughter and son-in-law. Following that were 9 photos, identical to what Lynn had posted earlier. Clearly stock photos, yet they still attracted countless likes and compliments. After continuous posting for 3 days, they, like Lynn, stopped updating. A week later, just as I received the first profit from my project, my uncle suddenly called, asking, "Have your parents contacted you?" I counted the long strings of zeros in my bank account, and as I counted, I said, "No contact at all." My uncle worried, "I can't reach Lynn either. Could something have happened? We should report it to the police." The timing was right for a report. I followed his suggestion and went to the police station, telling them everything I knew. I have a younger sister who met a boyfriend claiming to be a Star Scout. He said he wanted to take my sister to Northern Myanmar to film a short movie. No matter how much I tried to stop her, she wouldn't listen. My parents said I was jealous and beat me, then she went on her own. After that, she posted photos every day of eating seafood and partying. I thought she was doing well, so I was relieved. Later, she even said she had reserved some small roles for us, so my parents were very happy and immediately bought tickets. If I hadn't suddenly fallen ill that day, I probably would have gone with them. Who would have thought that after they went, they would completely lose contact? The police officer taking my statement frowned. "It's clearly a scam. Who would bother choosing that place to film? How many times have we broadcast anti-scam warnings and people still fall for it?" The police officer and I sighed together. Yes, why don't they believe it? In my past life, I warned them so clearly, and they didn't believe me, even turning around to harm me. So in this life, I can only respect their fate. After giving my statement, I returned to school, continuing to work with Kyle on establishing our company. Just as we finished preparing for the company's initial operations, I received another call from the police station. They said they had found 2 bodies at the border. Through DNA comparison, they were identified as my father and stepmother. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. What a coincidence! Today is a double celebration. My father and stepmother died terribly. Their internal organs were completely removed. I took them to the crematorium, watched a single flame burn them to ashes, then flushed their remains down the toilet, just like how they had treated me in my past life. Only Lynn remained missing. My career continued to flourish, and my bank account balance grew. I gradually forgot about Lynn and the nightmares of my past life. When Kyle's and my company was officially listed on the stock exchange, I rewarded myself with a rare vacation with my boyfriend. Yes, I had a boyfriend. He was also one of the people who participated in the startup with Kyle and me from the beginning. We were kindred spirits, shared many interests, and naturally fell in love. Soon, we would get married and build a healthy and happy home. The first destination on our journey was Thailand. Throughout the trip, we ate delicious food and had fun. Life truly had nothing left to worry about. That day, as we passed by an area near Thai Kuk Lang, we saw a group of strange circus performers by the roadside. Among the acts was a person whose limbs had been amputated, stuffed into a large vase like a human display. I looked closely at the person's face. The more I looked, the more familiar it became. It was Lynn, my long-lost sister. She also recognized me. Her eyes were filled with horror, trying to scream for help in despair. But I just smiled, took my boyfriend's hand, and quietly turned and walked away, just like she had done to me in my past life. "Lynn, this is the karma you deserve. You once said studying was useless and chose a shortcut. But that shortcut led you to this state. I guess you're living a hellish life every day now, aren't you?" I have always believed that only by taking steady steps and diligently studying every page can one truly change one's destiny. Everything I have now is what I deserve.